frustration with Katt Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions?
When I wrote it out to the careers of the people I was talking about, right? But it was so vicious that I erased all of the knockout blows and just left the jabs.
Like you don't entertain the circus, you watch it, right? And when a lion comes out and rides the bike, you don't think about it too hard. You just go, okay, that's crazy. The lion's riding the bike. And then you go home and enjoy the rest of your day.
Comic I'm talking about knows that I know your real story. I'ma tell this, but you know what else I know.
Yeah, I shouldn't even talk. I should never address it at all. I don't have to. But like, why? What will it do for...
Frustration with Katt Williams comes from you keep pointing at Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? When I wrote it out to the careers of the people I was talking about, right? But it was so vicious that I erased all of the knockout blows and just left the jabs. You don't entertain the circus, you watch it, right? And when the lion comes out and rides the bike, you don't think about it too hard, you just go, okay, that's crazy, the lion's riding the bike, and then you go home and enjoy the rest of your day. The comic I'm talking about knows that I know your real story. I'ma tell this, but you know what else I know? Yeah, I should never address it at all. I don't have to, but like, why? What will it do for me? Did Kevin Hart really name Katt Williams to the FBI? You were the guy, you were set up to be the star, you didn't show up to work you off. Promo shoots your promo trips that they had set up for you. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studio stopper is Katt's latest claim. Just another shocking revelation in his never-ending war with Hollywood. But it was so vicious that I erased all of the knockout blows and just left the jabs, from jaw-dropping accusations about P. Diddy to teasing career-ending secrets about Kevin Hart. Katt Williams has been pulling back the curtain on some of Hollywood's biggest players. Be gay in Hollywood you never expected they'd be having these big-ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. But what happens when Kevin Hart, one of Hollywood's most successful comedians, is accused of being an industry plant? We heard of a comedian that came to LA, and in his first year in LA he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading. What do you think a plant is? And if Katt really has the power to destroy careers, why did he hold back during his explosive interview on Club Shay? Is there more to the story than he's letting on? I was trying to do something there that hadn't been done. I thought that I had figured out the algorithm mathematically. If you're a fan of Katt Williams or have watched his interviews, you probably remember the Club Shay podcast he did with Shannon Sharpe back in January 2024. In that episode, Katt didn't hold back while talking about celebrities, including P. Diddy, who interestingly ended up in jail later this year. Let's just say Katt seems to have a lot of inside information about Hollywood that he's eager to share with the world. The comic I'm talking about knows that I know your real story, saying I'ma tell this, but you know what else I know? One celebrity who seems to be in Katt's crosshairs is none other than Kevin Hart. Over the years, Katt has made it pretty clear he has some opinions about Kevin that he's not afraid to share. Recently, Katt gave an interview where he claimed he has enough insider knowledge to end careers if he wanted to. According to Katt, he knows the truth about a lot of big names in Hollywood, and that includes Kevin Hart. I was trying to do something there that had been done. I thought that I had figured out the algorithm mathematically. This isn't the first time Katt has taken shots at Kevin during his Club Shay interview. Katt mentioned Kevin multiple times, making it obvious there's some tension between the two. He hinted that he knows Kevin's real story and teased that he might expose it one day. Fans have been buzzing about what Katt might mean and whether he's planning to spill more Hollywood secrets soon as the year comes to an end. People are revisiting some of the biggest pop culture moments of 2024, and Katt's fiery appearance on Club Shay is definitely one of them. That episode racked up 83 million YouTube views, and it's still a hot topic online. During a recent appearance at New York Magazine's Vulture Festival, Katt reflected on that podcast and admitted there were things he held back during the conversation. In his own words, Katt said he originally planned to careers of the people he called out, including Kevin Hart, Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, and Ricky Smiley. According to him, he had written out a plan to deliver some harsh truths, but he decided to tone it down at the last minute instead of going for the knockout punches. Katt said he left only the jabs, letting the people he was targeting no, he knows their real stories. When I wrote it out to the careers of the people I was talking about, right? But it was so vicious that I erased all of the knockout blows and just left the jabs. So who exactly is Katt talking about, and what secrets is he holding back? Fans are dying to know, and Katt's comments have only fueled more speculation. On the other side of things, Kevin Hart has been riding high as one of Hollywood's most successful comedians, from his blockbuster movies to his stand-up specials and his massive social media following, Kevin has built an empire that most can only dream of. Recently he teamed up with Chris Rock for the documentary Kevin Hart and Chris Rock Headliners Only, which has already started making waves, but behind the scenes it seems like there's some drama brewing. In a surprising twist, Katt Williams has sparked a wild theory online claiming that Kevin Hart isn't just a talented comedian but also an industry plant. If you're wondering what that means, an industry plant is someone who's supposedly placed in the spotlight by powerful people in the entertainment world to serve their own interests. Katt Williams highlighted the rapid trajectory of Kevin's career, including landing a sitcom and starring in Soul Plane, all within his first year in law. Katt's perspective raises doubts and adds an air of mystery to Kevin's early career. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in law he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. He continued saying, what do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definition of these words. We heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in law he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading. What do you think a plant is, for those of you who don't know about the ongoing showdown between Katt Williams and Kevin Hart? The feud goes back to the movie Fool's Gold in 2008. Katt Williams was supposed to star, but his legal issues made him pass on the opportunity to shoot in Australia, so Kevin Hart stepped in and took the role instead. Here is Cyrus. He's my new chief of staff. He's helping me to refocus, reform and renew. Word on the street is that's where the tension between Williams and Hart started brewing. Katt didn't hold anything back when he spilled the tea. He openly expressed concerns about letting people who might not be entirely honest control their own narratives without any checks and balances. He talked about how messed up it is that these dishonest folks have all the resources, leaving the rest of us struggling to keep up, and he's not buying the idea that having tons of resources means you're telling the truth. According to Katt, it's a real problem letting these shady characters run amok with their stories, especially when they've got loads of resources at their disposal. But Katt isn't oblivious to the fact that speaking out could get him in trouble. He knows people might see him as just another bitter, jealous comedian behind his back. When asked if he feared any backlash, Williams responded, Satan can't create anything that includes blessings for his people. That's why you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is to act like it didn't happen. The whole Kevin Hart is an industry plant theory goes back to a Hollywood rumor that's been circulating for quite a while. There's this talk that entertainers are kind of blackmailed into wearing a dress on screen, almost like a rite of passage before they can level up in the fame game. And it's not just Katt Williams who's been talking about this. Even Dave Chappelle has touched on it. In 2006, during an appearance on Oprah, Dave spilled the tea about why he turned down a whopping $50 million deal from Comedy Central. He wasn't in it just for the money, because as he explained, big bucks often come with some serious strings attached. Dave, being in the showbiz game since he was 14, had seen and heard stories about what happens behind the scenes. He pointed out examples like Mariah Carey landing a $100 million deal only to end up mysteriously labeled as crazy a few months later, or Martin Lawrence making it big and then suddenly waving a gun on the streets, screaming about someone trying to unalive him. It's those stories that had Dave cautious when Oprah grilled him about these tales. Dave spilled the beans. He'd seen this scenario play out before. Always when someone's career was teetering on the edge of a breakthrough, Dave felt the heat to churn out sketches that didn't just make people laugh with him but laugh at him. It felt like they were asking him to embarrass himself just to cash in. Dave Chappelle even remembered being asked to don a dress for a movie he was doing with Martin Lawrence. He walks into his trailer, spots the dress and thinks there's been a mix-up, but nope, it's for a scene where Martin's character disguises Dave as a hooker to break out of jail. Dave's like, nope, not happening. That wasn't part of the deal. They tried to push him, saying it's comedy gold, but Dave stood his ground, saying he didn't need a dress to be funny. Things got heated with the writers, directors and producers all pressing, but Dave stuck to his guns. In the end, they scrambled to come up with a new scene sans stress, leaving Dave to wonder, how did you whip